Your free visit at www.fdacs.gov/OFRR. That's www.fdacs.gov/OFRR.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety Campaign.
I'm Sabrina Halverson for the Southeast AgNet.
April showers bring May flowers and unbeatable lawn and garden prices at Rural King. Like this bad boy 54-inch zero-turn mower for just under $4,000 cash. Or this DeWalt 25-foot extension cord, just $24.98. Or assorted mulch, starting at $1.99 a bag. Shop now at RuralKing.com or your neighborhood Rural King, America's farm and home store.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be partly sunny with a high of 90 to 94. Patchy clouds tonight with a thunderstorm in spots late and a low of 71 to 75. Saturday will be mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms, mainly early in the day. High 85 to 89, then partly sunny and humid on Sunday. High on Sunday 87 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Join Gary and Don Crawford of Pinnacle Retirement Advisors for Retirement with Pinnacle, Saturday mornings at 9 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retirement with Pinnacle with Gary and Don Crawford, Saturday mornings at 9. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Ocala Talk. Good morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks on a Friday. I'm already welcoming you back like it's the second segment or something. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz, coming to you from the WOCA studios, located just off the runway at the Ocala International Airport in the Brick City, beautiful Ocala, Florida. Galen Unall joins me as he does every morning. Brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, Penn Flooring, and JustShip.net. Galen, good morning to you.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you today, my man?
You know how you've lived in this city all your life, and you are a champion of your hometown. Is that a safe assessment?
I try to be. Yeah.
You're committed to your community, just like thousands of people that live here are committed. Well, you know, my wife, as you know, just opened up during the pandemic, right before the pandemic started. She opened up a shipping company. And recently we went from the business model she opened under to adding a actual brick and mortar store, because her business model was, you don't have to come to us, we'll come to you. But now we've opened up a store to make it easier for people that may be out and about to drop stuff off to get shipped. And the reason I bring that up is R.J. Jenkins, who is on the board, on the board of the Literacy Council and everything, does a great job in this community. He came into the store, a week or so ago, and was so enthralled with the fact that there was a place close to him that he didn't have to go stand in line at the post office. He didn't have to go all the way out on 60th. He didn't have to go all the way out on 200 to a UPS store. That there was something close to downtown. He took it upon himself then to arrange a guerrilla buy type meeting, a pop-up type thing, where he's invited every one of his friends and all the community and everything to come this morning to Just Shipped. He's supplying donuts and everything for people to meet the new shipping store in downtown and get to know the new small business owner and to prop up a small business and show it to be a success. And I just had to mention that because he didn't have to do that. That's a guy who, like you, sees a need in his community or sees something that he thinks will benefit his community, and he goes out of his way to try to make it a success. That embodies what Ocala's made up of.
Well, yeah, that's awesome to hear, and that's isn't that why we live in a place like this?
It really is.
You know, that kind of community. Yeah.
I mean, and you have that kind of community. You know, in a day and age when it's sometimes people say, I don't know who lives next door to me. I don't care who lives next door to me. I don't want to know my neighbors, because when we were kids, everybody in the neighborhood knew who you were. They knew who your mom and dad were.
Sure.
You know, it was. But that's a lost life anymore, except in a place like you and your neighbors you have a very tight-knit community. You all get together regularly and do street parties and cookouts and everything. I mean, you where you live embodies that community spirit as well.
Well, you know, what's interesting is, I always say this, like, turnover breeds turnover, whether that's in business or, like, right now the housing market's booming. And so we've had, like, 4 of our neighbors move in the last 3 or 4 months. So I'm ashamed to say I don't know who my neighbors are yet. They haven't moved in.
Well, but as soon as they do, somebody on your street, probably you, is going to take it upon themselves to welcome them into the community.
I need to do that. Yeah. Well, and again, that's you. I think you nailed it. I mean, it's you know, if you're going to be a good host, you want to know your neighbors, right?
Well, you'd have to be a good host. You have to know your neighbors, don't you?
Well, even though our HOA went around and stickered everybody was parked in the street the other night, but yeah, absolutely.
Well, now you're bringing up a whole different subject. I said nice people in the community. I said nice people, community oriented, and then you bring up the devil called the HOA.
That's right. That's right. It was. I was like, oh.
Although I will say, the HOA where I live, there's a list of rules, like you can't have you can't have a broken down car in your driveway on blocks or something.
Right.
You know,
right.
You're supposed to have either fencing or bushes or something around your septic pump so it's not seen from the road and stuff like that, you know. And there's a list, but like you're not supposed to have chain link fences. Almost 3/4 of the houses in the subdivision have chain link fences.
Sure.
So, but sure. Really, our HOA, as long as you keep your yards well manicured and you don't do anything stupid like, you know, you don't have an automobile manufacturing going on in your garage or something, you know, and there's a restriction on Winnebagos or campers and stuff, but as long as you're not egregious like somebody's living in your front yard hooked up to the electric and everything, we pretty much get the grass mowed. So I actually have an HOA that's very, very tolerable. It's just keep your yard cut nice and groomed well, and you won't even know we exist. Now, that's the kind of HOA I like.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
No, but
well, it just protects you from your property values.
Right.
Appreciating because of your neighbor. That's
certainly. You don't want the jerk next to you. If you got a jerk living next to you, you don't want him to have grass that's 3 foot tall and bushes and vines that are going into the roof line and everything. You don't want that because your curb appeal may look good, but the next door neighbor's slob curb appeal definitely affects what your curb appeal is.
Absolutely.
How many times have you ever told a neighbor, hey, get a little trashy over there. We might need to step up some cleaning up efforts.
Well, I know. I've mowed my neighbor's grass before. Is that what you mean?
Is that because he was on vacation or just because you were like, he's not going to do it, so I might as well?
It was a little of both. And I was like, I'll knock this out. Because, you know, I have the best-looking yard in the neighborhood.
Well, you're like...
Number one. No. Number one.
There's no chance.
I am the Joneses.
Look, I'm going to tell you exactly who you are. You're Chevy Chase in Christmas Vacation. You got to be the best guy in the neighborhood at everything.
Except for the lighting. I'm not the Christmas lighting guy. Because I'm... nope, I don't do that anymore.
Dude,
my yard looks good.
He blew the whole grid out with those Christmas lights.
Oh, he sure did, man. You know, and it was a mix of pride and shame when he glitched on for those 30 seconds.
The grid was blown up, and the cat lost his life.
Well, the cat was always optional, right?
That may be one of the funniest scenes in Hollywood history.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know if it's not in Hollywood history.
One of the best lines in Hollywood history comes from that movie, though, and it's one of those lines that it's got one of the 7 words you can't say on radio or TV, but it was followed by full.
Sure.
You know, Randy Quaid looks at him, and he's out in his bathrobe standing out by the street. He's got his sewer line from his RV running to the sewer drain in the neighborhood, and he says something's full on his RV. That may be one of the best lines ever.
Sure.
Maybe
It's not, but I don't know.
Pretty good.
It's not probably in my top 10.
It's pretty good.
It's not in my top 10.
You know another Randy Quaid line from the vacation movies? I don't know why they call this stuff hamburger helper. It stands on its own pretty good.
That is a great line.
Oh, that's from the first one. And then in the one, even though Vegas was a terrible National Lampoon for me, vacation, when he throws that meat on the rock, I don't even need a barbecue, Clark. Because he's living out there in the nuclear bomb range.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, he's cooking the food right on the, nuclear rock.
On the rock. Yeah, that. I mean, again, it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not a top 10. It's not a top 10 comedy or anything, but it's a good movie.
It might be.
The original Vacation may be, because it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the Family Truckster.
Well, and that's just it. So if you're going to rank all of your Chevy Chase movies, it's the original, and then do you go with Fletch or Spies Like Us? But there's a lot of gold there.
The best Chevy Chase movie is not Vacation. The best Chevy Chase movie is Caddyshack. Let's come on.
Oh, that's absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah.
Would you like to tie me up with some of your? Would you like to tie me up with some of your ties?
Yeah, that's a good line.
Here's an uncashed check for $85,000. Keep it. Here's another one for $64,000. It's yours.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, we all want to be Ty. Like, if there's a dude in the
Ty Webb is who everybody in the golf world wants to be.
No. I mean, the guy's not right mentally, but who cares?
Who cares? He plays golf barefooted. What is better than that?
Yeah. Hangs out with Bill Murray. Kind of. That one scene's the only scene in the movie they're in. They did it in 20 minutes. That's right.
And then they went their separate ways because they couldn't stand each other.
It's amazing.
And it was
never, it's amazing. They never did anything again.
No.
Together.
They don't like each other.
Even though they had so many mutual friends.
I know.
That you would have thought that, between, that group that was on Saturday Night Live together would have
bridged the gap or something.
Together.
But remember, the group that was on Saturday Night Live, with them, didn't really care for Chevy Chase either.
That's true.
Chevy Chase isn't the most likable guy.
I would hang out with him. I mean, granted, he's like 97 now, but
he's still not the most likable guy.
I've never met him. I would. I'd like to talk to him.
They had a hotel down there in West Palm. They had a hotel. It was actually one of those little roadside motels they were staying in the 70s. They had one of those, and it was a long one. When you watch them making that movie, they talk about how
it's fantastic.
You had to. It was really a juggling act because did you go to Chevy Chase's hotel room for the party, or did you go to Bill Murray's hotel room for the party? Because they were on opposite ends of the hotel on the motel, and it was really a chore to bounce back and forth between the two. I should have a life so tough. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Should have a life so tough.
Exactly.
We got to take a break. When we come back, speaking of movies, Admiral Kazansky, he premiered, and we talked about it briefly, but we're gonna revisit it. We'll be back with that after this timeout on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. Says WOCA, the source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Now there's an exciting new treatment using natural biologics, regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints. Hey folks, it's Tom Schmitz, and I'm talking about QC Kinetics, now open here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical regeneration, highly concentrated natural biologics that can give you lasting relief. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulder, hips, and you're tired of steroids, tired of pain meds, and talk of major surgery, this is the treatment you've been hoping for. Call the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Learn about how natural biologics can be used to get you moving again pain-free. Listen, don't let them keep giving you steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. They have offices now in Ocala and the Villages. Call 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Friday. Hey, do me a favor, folks. If you're out and about today, drop by Just Shipped. 811 North Magnolia. Say hello to Susan. Let her know that, that you heard it on the radio, that you need to come by and say, hey. Galen Unall from Life South joins us. He does every day, thanks to good folks at Just Shipped, Penn Flooring, and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation. So yesterday we briefly touched on Top Gun Maverick, 36 years in the making, by the way.
Oh, and yeah, it should have been out, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it should have been out, but the pandemic and Tom Cruise, I watched a 30-minute thing, what they did, a podcast thing. Well, it was Entertainment Tonight, did a 30-minute special that they put on the internet. And they were at the red carpet, and they were doing the interviews of John Hamm, who's in the movie, and Tom Cruise. And they asked Tom Cruise, you've been sitting on this movie for 2.5 years. Why did you go the route of everybody else and do it through one of the streaming services like, a lot of people did during the pandemic to get their movies out? He goes, this movie is not supposed to premiere on a streaming service. It's supposed to premiere in a real theater where you can get the whole sound and understanding of just what went into this movie and the experience of this movie. And frankly, there's no way you get that experience sitting on your couch with even a 70 or 80-inch TV. It's just not possible. I think he's 100% correct.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's Top Gun. I mean, you want to feel that jet. No, well, when I saw the movie trailer in the theater, I was like, oh yes, here we go. Yeah, it's I mean, it's big screen. You get to see, naval boats doing naval things. That's what you want to see.
It's Top Gun Maverick is what we're talking about. The sequel to Top Gun. And they asked Tom Cruise, they go, you did all this work for the volleyball scene in the original movie, and there's a football scene. There's a football scene in this movie. How long did you train to get in shape for this? He goes, I didn't. I just did it.
Yeah. Well, it's Tom Cruise. I mean, he literally thinks he could fly a jet.
Well, he did land his own helicopter on the Midway. On the Midway for the premiere.
And again, as I said yesterday, that was pretty cool. Having spent 3 weeks on that boat.
Now you
followed it all over the ocean.
You were in the Navy for a while and everything. What kind of regulations or what kind of hoops and red tape did they have to jump through, you think, to be able to do a world movie premiere on the Midway?
Well, the Midway has done a bunch of that stuff. It's in San Diego.
Right, it sits in San Diego, right.
It's not an active duty show.
No.
Right, so it's more of a museum. Now, back in the day, when I was on the Midway, we had the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders come on, and they flew them on a helicopter, and then they flew them off, and there were 6 of them, because that's how many they could put on the helicopter. But that's about it. I mean, if it was an active duty military ship, it's a different world. So, but since it's a decommissioned ship, there's nothing secret anywhere on that boat. That boat was commissioned in 1948.
Yes.
And it's an old boat. It was an old boat when I was on it, when it was stationed in Yokosuka, Japan.
Well,
so, yeah.
What I like about this movie is Tom Cruise, the entire movie, because of technology advancements. That's why I didn't mind that they waited 36 years, because they filmed this entire movie with IMAX cameras. They even put them in the F-18 cockpits and everything to get this film. So they filmed them with the express thought of this is an IMAX movie, period.
Right. And I'm going to go and watch on the XL screen. I know that's not IMAX, but it's close to we got.
Well, is there not an IMAX? I thought there was an IMAX here in town.
Where?
Maybe I thought there was one over on Easy Street, but maybe
closed.
not. Yeah, that's right. It closed.
No, that Regal closed.
I thought it reopened.
I
thought it opened back up.
Oh. No.
See how much I pay attention.
So.
See how much I pay
attention.
Well,
because I went and saw the new Dumbledore movie, Fantastic Beasts, which it was terrible. It just dragged. And it was only at the Epic.
Oh, so. Well, I know that it'd be fun to get. There's an IMAX in Gainesville, I know.
There is
at the Royal 16, I believe.
Yeah, that's at Celebration Point. I don't know if that one's open either.
And I know the IMAX at City Walk is open.
Oh, sure.
I know it's open.
Going.
Where are you going, by the way? We got a lot of background noise going on.
I was filling up. I was filling up my gas tank, and then somebody's trying to let me out. It's a mess.
Where are you at, sir? Filling up your gas tank?
I'm in Ocala, trying to get to the interstate.
Oh, you on 326?
No, I'm not that far along yet.
Because if you were at 326, you're stuck there forever, brother. Trying to get out. Trying to get out of one of those stations.
326. I don't do that route.
And I miss it just because I come through at about 6:30, so I just missed the complete traffic downfall of that area. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, it causes backups on the interstate.
But if I had an F-18, I could just right from the house to the airport here.
Oh. Well, I'm wondering. I know what Top Gun did for recruitment for the Navy when it first released. I wonder what Maverick will do for recruitment. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody on the planet wanted to launch aircraft off of a naval carrier, and I mean it's one of because when I tell people what I did, they're like, "Oh, are you the guy who launched the jet?" And I look at them and I'm like, "No."
By the
They
way,
wouldn't allow me that responsibility.
By the way, I guess Pete Mitchell is going to be Iceman's wingman the whole time, because Iceman's an admiral in this movie. He got past captain, which is where Mitchell's still at.
Right. Well, and again, I mean, if you were counting the years, they would have been kicked out by now if they hadn't achieved that rank, and they definitely wouldn't be flying jets.
No.
You don't find too many 50-year-olds that are able to fly a jet.
Well, and they would be if you take into consideration, they were probably 22, 23 as fighter pilots in the original movie. 36 years later, they're not 50-something; they're pushing 60.
Yeah, they're no longer active duty.
No, there's no 60-year-old that's flying an F-18 in combat.
Not in real life.
No, not in real life.
But that said, you could argue that just like Rocky Balboa is the greatest boxer of all time, Maverick is the greatest pilot in the history of the planet.
Well, of course he is. Pete Mitchell. Well, I don't know.
Snoopy.
I don't know.
Snoopy.
I don't know. Pete Mitchell's dad was probably a little better. Just ask him.
No, but I mean, it's always amazing how some characters become bigger and bigger and bigger.
And Viper was pretty good.
Yeah, but he was no Maverick. Maverick was the best.
It's such a
Maverick was the best.
And what you know how many people now under the age of like 20 are going to go back and become it's going to become a religious experience just watching the original one?
Well, when they launched the trailer and you heard the soundtrack, I got chills. I was like, okay.
See what happened? We're talking about Top Gun, blew right through the news break. See what happens when you and I get together? See what happens?
Yeah, again, we didn't even say anything.
Right.
And we wasted 10 minutes.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Every conversation I've ever had in my life.
With me.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. We'll be right back after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA. The Source. From the College of Central Florida. On Wednesday, May 18th at 10:35 a.m., Dr. Alan Daniff and Dr. Rob Wolf from CF will tell us how members of the community can share their experience by becoming an adjunct instructor at CF. So tune in to hear how rewarding it can be to share your knowledge in the classroom. That's Wednesday, May 18th at 10:35 on Higher Education Happenings on Ocala Talks on WOCA, The Source.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you. Golden Spoon Diner and Seafood Restaurant, a true New York-style diner in Ocala. Try our breakfast special of 2 eggs served with home fries or hash browns and toast for just $4.49. We have an all-you-can-eat catfish special daily for $14.99, and Thursday through Sunday we have prime rib. Happy hour for food starts at 2 p.m. The Golden Spoon Diner and Seafood Restaurant is located at 5400 Southwest College Road in the Heathbrook Commons Plaza. Open daily from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. We will see you soon.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck. Bumpin' Brave and Bold, the Orlando International Fringe Theater Festival is back May 17th through the 30th with over 200 shows. This unique cultural experience is held at Lock Haven Park. 2022 brings new and exciting features to the Orlando Fringe. You don't want to miss out. Tickets are available at orlandofringe.org. Again, May 17th through the 30th is the 31st Orlando Fringe, and it's sure to be the best yet. Get your tickets at orlandofringe.org.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club-style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
It's Mother's Day week, the perfect time to see all the exciting things happening at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and pick out a gorgeous green gift for Mom. They've set aside special deals just for Mom's Day, like a huge selection of Easy Care, double red, double yellow knockout roses, not $25 or $22, but just $14.99. Or how about a crepe myrtle, all colors, all sizes, starting at just $29.99. Or get 6 beautiful dwarf Mexican petunias, just $35.99. And daylilies in peach, red, yellow, and gold, just $7.99 each when you buy 10 or more. If you look around and you've got a sharp eye, you might even find some Mother's Day BOGOs. It's all going on this week at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3. Now they're celebrating 70 years in the same blooming location.
Hey, do you know there's a real Italian bakery right here in Ocala? Yeah, it's the Magnolia Italian Bakery, where you get the best Italian specialty. Remember, Mother's Day is this Sunday, so call and order now. Italian and New York cheesecakes, fresh-made cannolis, cream puffs, eclair, and even custom cakes. We cater big and small events. Get your lunch or dinner, Italian subs, eggplant parm, lasagna, meatball and sausage subs. They're all made fresh just for you. Call ahead, 352-207-2667. Manja, and God bless.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Friday. We're on the phone lines with Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, and occupational and speech therapy. If you got any questions, give Palm Garden a call, 352-854-6262. We'd also like to thank family-owned and operated Penn Flooring. Penn Flooring is a full-service flooring company dedicated to finding the best solution for your flooring needs. They have experience in both commercial and residential flooring. Go see their amazing showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call, 352-351-3420. And, of course, we'd like to thank JustShip.net. Today they're having an open house at their brick-and-mortar shipping store, 811 North Magnolia. Go in, get some coffee, get some donuts, ship a couple items, say hello to Susan, JustShip.net. Galen Unall joins us back on the phone lines. Galen, all is not well in River City. And when I say River City, I mean Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
There's a new report out. There's a new report out that that Deshaun Watson, the starter, the penciled-in starter for the Cleveland Browns, is probably going to face a longer suspension than anyone in Cleveland expects. They're lobbying hard with the NFL, but it looks like that from sources inside the NFL that the lobbying isn't going to work. Deshaun Watson's going to face a lengthy suspension for his alleged sexual exploits and abuse of women while in Houston, I guess, is where it happened. But so that now they're going to have to look at the backup, who is Baker Mayfield. Well, do they need each other in 2022, or is it so strained that they won't be able to? Because now there's a new article come out on ESPN.com that reports that OBJ, before he got traded, didn't call or text Mayfield, after OBJ's father posted a video that showed instance after instance, according to OBJ's father, where Mayfield missed or overthrew Beckham. Then there's an unnamed starter. When asked about if he'd seen the video posted by Beckham's father, he goes, "Why would I watch the video? I see it in practice every day." Baker Mayfield, he's one of those guys that he doesn't take criticism well. He's well documented. Crotch grabber when he didn't crotch grabber when he didn't get it, cheers like he wanted and stuff. This doesn't seem like it's helping the situation in Cleveland. It looks like it's the same way as ever. The Browns being the Browns.
Well, they tried to trade him. Nobody wants him.
Right.
Right. And again, when you reach for a draft pick, and I've been saying this for decades, when you reach for a draft pick and you draft out of desperation, this is what you get. You get a guy who's good enough to get you fired. Right? I mean, Baker Mayfield's got some talent.
Yes.
I see it. But he was not, what was he? The third pick, second pick, first pick?
Wasn't he the first pick overall?
He was. I was kind of joking. But yeah, I mean, this is the guy you should be able to put into your starting lineup for 10 years. And they're like, "Oh, they gave up on him." But they give up. They were not going to make the playoffs. They were an 8-8 team with him. And they're an 8-8 because they gave him arguably the best wide receiving core in the game.
Right.
Their defense was incredibly stout. And Baker just, again, the quarterback, I agree, is the most important position on the field. But you cannot reach for it because it's the most important player on the field.
Well, the Mayfield camp, has come out. There's people in the Mayfield camp that says, look, the team tried to make Mayfield look as hapless as possible in the last game of the season last year against Pittsburgh in order to move on from him, make it easier to move on from him and bring in Deshaun Johnson. So now they got a conspiracy theorist in Baker Mayfield's camp. I see no way that this works ever again in Cleveland. It didn't work originally. It worked, like you said, just enough to get somebody fired. But I literally can't envision him suiting up and taking a snap in Cleveland.
No. It's far worse than that, Tom. Because not only did they reach for Baker Mayfield, now they reach for Deshaun Watson.
They've re-reached.
Who you knew was going to have issues related to these allegations about him raping women.
Certainly.
And it wasn't just one person. I think at one point there were like 23 people on that.
Right, and by the way, the NFL's precedent is set here. You knew there was going to be, even if the charges didn't go forward criminally, you knew with that much bad press, the Shield was going to step in and do something.
Well, and I'm going to push back on that a little bit. If it's proven that he didn't do it, right? Even though the NFL doesn't care about that.
No.
Right? In the court of public opinion, they can do whatever they want.
Right.
I just don't understand why the Cleveland Browns felt that this is the guy. And what's amazing is there are so many pundits out there that like, this was a really deft pick by the Cleveland Browns. They got a guy very cheap. And I'm like, are you kidding? He's not going to play, and if he does, he may have been out of football for 2 years.
And they owe him, by the way.
It just doesn't work.
Not only is that a bad scenario, they have to pay Baker Mayfield They got to pay Baker Mayfield $19 million.
To hold a clipboard.
Yeah.
In the best case scenario, right? In their best case scenario, Baker Mayfield gets paid $19 million to hold a clipboard.
100%.
And again, this is why, as it's been said many times, franchises win championships, right? Franchises.
Certainly.
So and I get it. The players do the work, but you know what? There's a whole bunch of people behind them putting them all together and making it work.
And one of the best franchises to show you that. You don't have to look any farther than Foxborough, Massachusetts. Say what you want about your dislike. People don't like the Patriots. People made this and that. Robert Kraft has built a great franchise to win football games.
but to me, I think you can find 5 or 6
The
franchises.
Steelers franchise.
Correct.
Over the long haul.
Absolutely.
The way the Rooney
Ravens.
family does it. The Ravens. The way they do
Right.
it.
Now you look at what, for a long time, Seattle has always been competitive.
The 49ers in the 80s.
Rams.
What Ed DeBartolo Jr. and all in the 49ers in the 80s. That was a great franchise.
Correct. So, and again, when you see these teams reach, and occasionally you'll get lucky. We'll see if the Cincinnati Bengals have actually a franchise, or if they just caught lightning in a bottle. We'll find that out, right?
Well, we know they didn't. We know they didn't. We know they didn't reach on a quarterback like Cleveland did with Baker Mayfield.
Well, they had one fall into their lap because they were so god awful bad. But
Right.
You know what? At the same time, they brought in a new GM, new coach, and their quarterback got hurt. And then this second year, he played really well. Let's see. But we also know that certain teams are going to continue to be terrible.
And you
The
think
Dolphins, the Jags, the Falcons.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Arthur Blank, for all he did at Home Depot and everything, and he's had flashes of brilliance as an owner, for the most part, the Falcons are a train wreck. The Jaguars got Trevor Lawrence, supposed to be the savior of the Jags, keeping him in Jacksonville so they don't go to London or something. And he was a rookie, but they surround him. They surround him by a coaching staff that could care less about his players. All that coaching staff wanted to do was tell you how great they were. A bad franchise move again. A bad franchise move.
Exactly. So, and I think that's the key, right? Again, we talk about this all the time. Leadership is the key to any success. That's why Just Ship's going to do so well because they got great leadership.
Yeah, Susan.
Not by you.
Yeah,
not by you. That's
Susan.
right, Susan.
Yeah.
Correct.
Believe me, her one downfall is she keeps trying to get her Baker Mayfield to start at her shipping store. That's her downfall.
Oh, you're a tax write-off.
Well, so should Baker Mayfield be. They're not getting return on the money they should on Baker Mayfield. That should be a tax write-off loss. You know what I mean? That should be a tax write-off. And here's the thing. When you get clubs like the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's a reason Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and I can see the head coach now.
Howard?
Yeah, no, the head coach now, Randy. Not Randy Shannon. The head coach in Pittsburgh right now, Mike Tomlin.
Oh man,
right.
You have me all over the place.
But you get those three when you've had three coaching staffs. The Dallas Cowboys, when they were a great franchise before Jerry Jones. Remember, Jimmy Johnson, who won 2 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys and was a good coach, he was only the second coach in Cowboys history.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We only talk about it every time we bring up the Cowboys.
Good, but that was a good franchise. The Miami Dolphins of the early 70s, why they can't figure that out now and go back to whatever lightning in a bottle they caught in the early 70s, that was a good franchise then. But the key, like you said,
again,
and the Tampa Bay Rays, let's go to baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays compete every year because from the farm system up, it's a good franchise.
That's right. And you look at some teams like the New York Yankees who are constantly reaching right now for the next side. They're playing well right now. I get it, but they're constantly reaching for the next piece and overpaying for players. And the Red Sox just decided we don't care if we're competitive. God, they're terrible. But then at the same time, you look at the Dodgers, they're like, we're going to throw money at the problem. And it seems to be working.
Somebody asked me last night, your Braves don't look to be too good. They're a little bit under 500 there. Can't seem to get over 500. I go, they were right around 500 until August of last year. Calm down. They're the World Series. They're the World Series champs. Calm down.
Yeah, it's early. I mean, they're not the same team.
No, of course not. And even if they don't make the playoffs this year and don't get to the World Series, they did last year. That's good enough for a while. It's good enough for a while.
And again, you ride that for a while.
You do.
Yeah.
Like you as a Boston fan, you rode it for 108 years.
It's true. Well, not quite. But it felt like it. It was my entire lifetime.
It was your entire lifetime until 2004.
86 years.
You were a well I don't say well equipped. You're not a well equipped adult, but you were well into your adult age before the Red Sox ended your persecution.
And I will tell you, how the Red Sox won? It was because they got a leadership team. They had a plan, and they followed it. They stuck to their guns, and they built that team with veteran pitchers, and then they got lucky with David Ortiz, but they also went out and got Manny Ramirez, arguably the best right-handed hitter in the game.
A guy who most people said was a guy who most people referred to in baseball circles the way Dennis Rodman was referred to in basketball circles. He's a trouble. Yeah. You don't need him in your locker room. He can't, and Manny came in and that team gelled. Manny understood his position on that team, and that's because Theo, from the top down, from Theo all the way through the management, Jason Varitek and the way the leadership Jason Varitek showed in that dugout, that was a team that put it together, and it was, like you said, it was all about they finally had a good franchise model.
Well, and again, it was from that top down, and then they kept building pieces. And then they traded Nomar Garciaparra, who many felt was the best player on the team.
People thought, I remember there was a revolt.
2004 season.
Yeah, in the middle of the season. I remember that there was a revolt almost.
And
how do you get rid of Nomar?
Yeah, and then then they just started, and they had a bunch of guys who were character guys, and but in order to do that, you have to be disciplined, and you have to have a plan, and you have to have leadership. I would love to be on a fly on a wall with the Jags, right? When they're debating right now their organization, when they hired Urban Meyer. I'd love to have been a part of that, because what they were trying to do, and when a team tries to win the headline, right, when they try to win the offseason or do what they think the fans want, they fail every single time.
It's not about winning the headline. It's about winning games. And teams forget that. Teams forget that.
Exactly right.
So, but yeah, Cleveland is a dumpster fire once again, but it's not surprising. It's not. The dumpster fire started with Art Modell's moving trucks and has never been put out.
That's right.
Although I got to give it to the city of Cleveland, they stuck to their guns and sued and got to keep the rights to the Browns name. Though I got to give them that. That was probably one of the best things they ever. Oh wait, no, it wasn't, because they're still the Browns.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it didn't do them any good. That organization, it started to turn around before they moved because of Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick put a plan in place and put some pieces in place. And then they carried that over into the Ravens, and then the Ravens ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, a Trent Dilfer of all people.
Yeah.
But again, franchises, and whatever your favorite sports team is, what you need to do, and it's not just ownership, it's general manager. The general manager and that person who's allowed to make those decisions, that's the key, right? And you got to have a guy who's willing to stick to his guns and be who he is.
By the way, I have to give a shout out to a sophomore, two sophomores. They were named to the all-county. They were the players of the year for the county soccer, all-county girls soccer. Sophomores Victoria Carter, and of course, I would be remiss if I didn't give kudos to Taryn Reardon. I worked with her father for many, many years in radio, Adam Oil Can Reardon, who worked at the now defunct WMOP when it was ESPN Radio and Fox Sports Radio. And his daughter Taryn, who was always a great soccer player, after she got done with elementary school, she was like, I don't want to play soccer anymore. So she sat out her middle school career and the 9th grade. Then she comes back and says, I have a desire to play soccer again. She comes back and she's named Co-Player of the Year in Marion County. Congratulations to both those women, and especially to Taryn for not letting, her dad's inabilities get in her way.
Yeah, I know Adam. I worked with him, and the fact that she was able to overcome
right.
his lack of any ability and any athleticism is pretty remarkable. So congratulations.
Yeah, I just got to give kudos to Taryn that she was able to, in spite of who her father is, be player of the year anyway. Because I know he embodies the line from Rudy. 5 foot nothing, 100 and 200 and 300 and something like that. No athletic ability, zero spec athletic ability. So.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Adam's a great guy. Adam's a great guy and a good father too. He's a good guy and a good father.
Absolutely.
So,
love it.
But it's, and I like that these kind of things come out at the end of the year, giving these kids props and everything. It's just. It's good for our community and all that we recognize these children who stand out, and we don't just lump them all in and say, well, here they all are. They're all equal. Everybody gets a trophy. I'm glad that we as a community still recognize the superlatives in athletics.
Yeah, my oldest son was on the all-county soccer team as a senior because, the coach just wrote all the seniors' names on the list. So. And there was only a handful of goalies in the county, and he happened to be one of them.
Well, and
he was the only senior, which is why he made the team.
And here's my question: you got one son that plays basketball, another son that played goalie, so he's got some height on him, and yet you're like a runt.
I'm 5'10". I'm a solid 5'10".
Your wife must be 6'5".
My wife's family is very, very tall.
Okay.
Her sister's 6'2". My grandfather on my mom's side was 6'3". My dad was, 5'6". Yeah, I had no chance of being an athlete.
Yeah, my mom was 5'2". My dad was 5'8". I had no shot at even approaching 6 foot tall. No shot.
Sure.
Although, if I keep eating the way I'm eating, I'm gonna be 6 foot around. I'll be 6 foot around.
There you go.
And by the way, the neck is over 2 foot around, so I'm already well on my way there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and again, this weekend it's Mother's Day, and so we've got to respect our mothers and the genes that they gave us.
Well,
their fault.
Is there a better community event to prop up mothers and to give mothers their props and everything than what happens in Ocala with Symphony Under the Stars? Is there a better? I dare say there's not a better event in the country, community-wise, than what we do with Symphony Under the Stars for our mothers on Mother's Day.
Well, you are absolutely right. But this weekend in Ocala is as good as it gets because of the Derby.
Yep.
Right? We haven't even talked about the Derby. And then you got Mother's Day on Sunday.
I haven't even looked. I couldn't even tell you the horses in the Derby. How bad is that?
I listened to the one the other day. I'll start. Let's be clear. I got a lot going on this weekend. Got Mother's Day. I've got the F1s in Miami. I'm so broke I couldn't afford the ticket prices there were god awfully expensive. There's a lot going on.
You should have just. It would probably have been cheaper. Probably would have been cheaper than buying a ticket to F1. You just charter a private helicopter from here and hover above the track. That's probably cheaper.
It would have. Tom, they called me because I'm on their list, and they said, "Hey, we have a hospitality package for you." I'm like, "Okay, $6,000. You can be in the fake marina." See, I'm like, "Oh, all in? All 3 days?" Are like, "No, sir. $6,000 a day, and it's a 4-person minimum." So what they want me to do is to spend $24,000 a day for 3 days to stand around on concrete that makes it look like a marina.
What do they think you are? They think you're a big baller, shot caller.
And I asked them. I said, "Well," and the guy's name was Mitch. I said, "Well, Mitch, what are we talking all in here? What's my bottom line price?" And he goes, "Well, with tax, it's going to be right at $77,000. I said, oh, all right, well, I'm going to need to move some money around. He goes, oh, okay, do you want me to call you back? I said, no, I'd have to rob a bank and go to jail. And he goes, and we were talking, he goes, he said, everything is sold out, I'll have this sold out probably within the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. They're expecting 400,000 people there. And the cheapest ticket, they have what they call this campus pass, where you walk in and you don't get a seat on Sunday during the race with no seat. It's $900, and they're sold 200,000 of them
at $900.
And you're just walking around.
Yeah.
There's no seat. You can't even see the track.
That's like when you go to Daytona 500, they sell the fan zone ticket.
Infield.
The fan zone ticket.
Actually, you can see stuff.
But you're up on that concrete roof above the pits, and there's no place to sit. But you can actually see the track at least, and you get to see the big screen too. So there is that. Hey, Galen.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you got. That's all you got.
Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, today we're at the Winn-Dixie out in so come check us out there. But as always, we're right at lifesouth.org. Give blood this weekend. We're going to be all over the place. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And let's see if Mercedes can perform a little better this weekend.
By the way, just got a text from Susan. Galen did not drop by. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. Galen, talk to you Monday.
All right, bye all.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
The United States provided Ukraine with intelligence that helped Kyiv attack and sink the flagship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, the Moskva. But the United States is not providing details to target Russian military leaders. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby.
We do not provide intelligence on the location of senior military leaders on the battlefield or participate in the targeting decisions of the Ukrainian military. The Ukrainians have, quite frankly, a lot more information than we do.
As the nation wrangles with abortion in America, President Biden's support of abortion is his right as a child of God.
I said, I believe I have the rights that I have, not because the government gave them to me, which you believe, but because I'm just a child of God. I exist.
Biden made the remarks on Wednesday as he discussed the leak of a draft of a Supreme Court decision that could overturn Roe v. Wade and put abortion law onto the state level. USA Radio News.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5500 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5500.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. Well, peanut farmers are getting their peanuts in the ground, and at the same time, the extension folks are encouraging farmers to plan for disease management early this year. They already are aware that farmers will be faced with many obstacles, including higher input costs, and a warmer winter could increase the risk to disease and nematodes. Bob Kimmerott said one of the main concerns of this coming season is the La Nina winter in 21 and 22. He says the weather was generally not cold enough, long enough, that could set farmers up for an increased disease pressure, and farmers need to pay attention. He encourages farmers to use the Peanut RX program to help manage their risk of spotted wilt, leaf spot, and white mold on their peanuts. He also said they need to hire a scout, use a scout to help with the early detection and identification of diseases in the field. Farmers are